Welcome to Home Field Advantage, SFA's only home for sports nationally, locally, and on campus. I'm your host, Bobby Morrow. Today we'll be covering all of your favorite Texas teams, SFA's first victory of the football season, the local Quidditch team, and much more. You won't want to miss what's next on Home Field Advantage. The Cowboys were unable to beat the undefeated New England Patriots this Sunday. The Patriots improved to 4-0 record while the Cowboys offense had some kinks in it. Tom Brady threw 3 touchdowns but also got sacked 5 times in the first half, the most in one half since 2001. The Cowboys defense was on their toes, but it wasn't enough to stop the Patriots from pummeling the Cowboys 30-6. This marks the Cowboys' first 3-game losing streak since 2010. There is hope that Dez Bryant will return this week against the Giants after battling an ankle injury for 5 weeks. This may be what the Cowboys need to break their losing ways.
The river is now orange. The Texas Longhorns stunned Oklahoma this past Saturday, improving to a 2-4 record. Last week's beatdown against TCU gave the Longhorns the push they needed to come out Saturday night with a winning mindset and mentality. This paid off and helped the Longhorns beat the previously undefeated Sooners, which resulted in a 24-17 victory. The Texas Longhorns had a whopping 313 rushing yards and 6 sacks on the Sooners quarterback Baker Mayfield. The Longhorns look to continue these winning ways in their next matchup against Kansas State, who have a record of 3-2.
The Houston Astros defeated the New York Yankees, clinching the AL wildcard spot to face the Kansas City Royals. The last time the Astros made it to the postseason was in 2005 when they lost to the White Sox in the World Series. The Astros offense has been electric. They just can't stop hitting home runs. Dallas Keuchel got the win in Game 3 and is now 16-0 at home for the season. However, the Royals won Game 4 last night after a 7th-inning rally featuring 5 scores, tying the series up at 2-2. Game 5 is on Wednesday at 7 p.m.
After defeating the Los Angeles Angels, the Texas Rangers clinched the AL West Division and made it to the playoffs. The last time that this team has advanced to the playoffs were back in 2012. The Rangers traveled north to face the Toronto Blue Jays and won both 1 and Game 2 on the road. However, they lost Game 3 and 4 at home. Game 5 will be played Wednesday at 3 p.m. Winner advances to the ALCS.
After number 6, LSU trampled over South Carolina in a game that was moved from Columbia to Baton Rouge due to flooding, LSU star running back Leonard Fournette made a touching announcement. He would auction off his game-worn jersey from the win to benefit South Carolina flood victims. Almost immediately after the announcement, Fournette said that he was not allowed to sell the jersey because it was in violation of NCAA rules against players profiting off of their own memorabilia. Soon after, the NCAA tweeted out, quote, "Leonard Fournette can auction his jersey for South Carolina flood victims."
For the second time in 3 weeks, the TCU Horned Frogs pulled out a victory in the game's final minutes on Saturday night with a 52-45 win against Kansas State. TCU was trailing 35-17 at halftime, but managed to outscore Kansas State 35-10 in the second half. With the game winner coming with 1 minute 10 seconds left in the game, Trayvon Boykin threw a 55-yard touchdown pass to Josh Doxson to break a 45-45 tie and to beat Kansas State in Manhattan for the first time since 1988. TCU remains undefeated on the season and will face Iowa State on the road this Saturday.
The WNBA Finals have gone back and forth throughout the entire series as the Indiana Fever avoid elimination with a 75-69 win over the Minnesota Lynx. The Fever had dropped the previous 2 games of the series, and Minnesota was looking to close the series out on Sunday night. Maya Moore has been nothing less than impressive as she is looking for her 3rd championship since entering the league in 2011. During this playoff run, she has averaged 25 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. The 2 teams will meet for their final time Wednesday, and a champion will be crowned.
The Lumberjacks get their first win of the season as they overcome 4 turnovers to beat Nicholas State 28-24. The Jacks rallied back from a 21-7 halftime deficit and did not take the lead until Zach Conk scored a quarterback sneak with 26 seconds left in the game. Nicholls State would not get a chance to respond as they would fumble on the kick return, which secured the win for SFA. The loss extends Nicholls State losing streak to 23 games. Though SFA won, the Jacks suffered a major blow as Aaron Thomas' career with the Jacks ended Saturday, as he went down with a broken collarbone.
When we come back, a closer look at SFA's own Quidditch team. We'll have Joshua West in the studio with us, and later we'll have a panel discussion about everything sports. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Home Field Advantage. Did you know SFA had a Quidditch team? Neither did we. So we sent our very own Philly Galindo and Crystal Hickman to cover the team.
J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series has brought many fans together, even in sports.
Rooms up.
This is the Lumberjack Quidditch.
Good start.
What began as an SFA extension of the Harry Potter Alliance, an organization promoting activism, has led to the founding of the Lumberjack Quidditch.
Hi, my name is Morgan McGrath and I'm the president of the Lumberjack Quidditch team. I started the team in the spring of 2014 with a couple friends from another organization called the Order of the Lumberjack. We had the idea of making a Quidditch team on campus. We've heard that there are other teams around the state and around the country, and we wanted to become part of that community. And so we took the initiative, we started the sports club, and we are going strong today.
Practice takes place on Sundays, Mondays, and Wednesdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Players are expected to go through training no matter what level they are in. They go through a range of practice drills based on player positions.
Chasers, they are the ones that make the scores. And beaters are the ones that try and prevent you from making scores.
We usually start practice with a warm-up. We usually do a couple laps or a sprint or so. We do dynamic stretching to start it out. Then we go and we split into beaters and chasers, work on specialties, short range beat for beaters, catching and throwing for chasers. And then we go into integrated. We usually work together, get some offensive, defensive drills going, and then at the end we scrimmage.
At first, not many knew there was a program solely dedicated to Quidditch. However, the sport eventually grabbed the attention of students throughout SFA and began to grow in size.
I went to the involvement fair, and I just went to their booth, talked to Adrian and a girl named Caitlin who wasn't here. But they explained to me how awesome it was, and I was really interested.
I found out about it through Facebook because there was an interest page just to see who all would be interested in if it was worth making.
My friend Alvaro, who I've known for a while, he was a part of it, and last year he asked me if I would join. I was like, sounds interesting, yeah.
From a fictional game and a story to a growing sport throughout universities, Quidditch is gaining popularity every year. The drills and gameplay of the sport strengthens the unity among these players and encourages them to become better athletes.
But the best thing about Lumberjack Quidditch is probably the community. Like, before you came here and joined Quidditch, you don't really know that many people who are into like geeky things like Harry Potter or athletic things like some kind of sporting club, and you come here and you meet a bunch of people, hang out outside of the club, and it's a lot of fun.
I'd say the best thing is the team chemistry that we have. Everybody gets along with everybody, and we're all friends on this team, and everybody's quick to make friends with new people. So
it's like a family. Like, no matter what we do, if someone gets hurt or someone is having a bad day, the whole team is there for them. And at tournaments, we're always together, and it's a real bonding experience.
At SFA, this is Philly Galindo from Home Field Advantage.
Fire down three, fire down three. 1, 2, 3, fire down!
Hi, welcome back. I'm Maddie Kaufman, and this is my friend Josh West. He's a running back on the football team here at SFA. So, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. So what brought you here to SFA, and how many offers did you get out of high school, if you had any?
I had about 15 offers coming out of high school. Every team in this conference I basically had an offer from, and then a couple of smaller Division Ones, big Division Ones like Texas State and University of Alabama at Birmingham. And ultimately I decided to come to SFA. I had like top 3 schools, and it was out of Texas State, Sam, and SFA. And I took 2 visits. I didn't even go to Texas State, and I just decided I wanted to go to.
So I heard you committed to Sam, and then you decommitted? How did that work out?
The coaches called me, and they were fresh off like a national championship. They went to national championship. And I was like, man, there's some winners. I want to go there. And then I just took my visit. I didn't fit in there. I didn't like the culture. And I mean, I actually went to Sam on a Friday and then SFA on a Saturday. And
Oh, dang.
After I left SFA, I was just like, man, this is a place for me. And I tell everybody that ever asks me, I mean, I'm like, I just feel like I ought to go to SFA even if I didn't play football. So that's the reason I
awesome.
picked
You just
to go
like
to
the
SFA.
area?
I just love the town. I love the small classes. I just love everything about it, honestly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, I know you wore number 16 a certain game. What can you explain what was that about?
Yeah, that game is kind of dedicated to Callie Belcher. He's a SFA football player that died, I think, 20 years ago, and they retired his number. And since they retired his number, only 2 players have ever wore his jersey. Mm-hmm. Again, last year it was Aaron Thomas, and this year it was me.
Cool. So, like, why was it specifically you instead of anybody else?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, like, because I didn't know Callie personally, and my sophomore year when Aaron won it, it was just like, I mean, wow. I mean, they're thinking like Aaron's like this guy right here. So I was like, I mean, they chose me to do it. I was like, I don't feel like I'm like Aaron at all. I mean, if I was a coach, I mean, Aaron's just a great guy. I think of him like on a very high level.
Yeah, well, maybe they think of you the same way. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing.
That's an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing. So, I want to, like, what are you majoring in, and what do you plan to do with that?
My major is kinesiology, and I got a minor in sports marketing.
Awesome.
And I honestly don't know what I want to do when I graduate. I'm kind of just leaving it up to God and what He wants me to do. And,
that's perfect.
But I kind of always wanted to coach, and I've also always had a dream like being in law enforcement, but that probably ain't gonna help with my degree. but I'm just
hey, dude, don't worry about it. That's awesome, though. That's awesome. So actually, I've heard that you got married this summer, and you have a son. Can you please tell me how you are managing that, along with football and your kines classes and a son and a wife? How do you manage this?
It's just, I mean, it's like a huge responsibility taking on 2 other human beings than yourself.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they actually moved up here with me this summer, and it's just, I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, it's just like I'm responsible for 2 other humans. It's just crazy, and I mean, it's like you come home and you got to be a father, and then you got to be a student, and then after that, when your kid goes to sleep, you got to be a husband. You got to listen and talk to your wife and stuff. You can't just come in and play the game with your boys anymore.
Yep, no, and your life's changed.
Totally different.
So what's your son's name?
His name's Joshua. He has a different middle name. He's not a junior.
Oh, okay.
Joshua James.
Joshua James. That's adorable. How old is he?
He's 1.
Wait, you had to think about that for a second.
1 in a couple months. That's all I know.
So, and your wife, what's her name is Jordan, right?
Her name is Jordan.
Awesome. So Joshua, Jordan, and then
we're all
Joshua.
J's.
All J's. That's awesome. So how did you meet? Jordan?
We actually went to elementary school together, grew up together, and I mean, I wasn't really close to her in elementary school or anything like that, but when we got to junior high, we were like best friends. I mean, and then we got to high school, and I was messing with her. Like, she was on varsity and stuff as a freshman, so she didn't talk to me anymore. she was like that big freshman in class. I mean, hung out with all the seniors and stuff, and then our senior year, we actually started dating. It's a weird story how we started dating, but
it all worked out in the end.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. So last question, real quick. The last game y'all won, do you think this is a turnaround for SFA?
I mean, I do think it's a turnaround, and I know there's a lot of talk around there, like we're a bad football team and stuff like that, and I just don't think we are. I was on a bad football team my freshman year. We were 3-9. We had a bad coach, in my opinion, and then this year I just feel like we just can't put it all together every single game. I mean, we lost games by less than 6 points and stuff like that, and I feel like when we all get together, play all 3 phases of the game, I mean, we're unbeatable. I mean, I can't say that we're 1-5, but I mean, it's just like stuff that people that aren't on the team, they don't really understand. Like what we watch on film and stuff like that, and we know we're capable of doing. So I do think it's a turnaround for us, and we're going to use the momentum from that game to keep on building and probably go undefeated the rest of the season. That's awesome. That's our goal.
That's awesome. Who do y'all play next?
Southeastern Louisiana. Very good football team.
Okay. Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for coming in the studio. Next, we have a segment on SFA's Quidditch team. Please stick around for that. Okay. That's so cool.
Welcome back to Home Field Advantage. I'm your host, Bobby, and joining me now we have Jawan and AJ. And I say it every week, and it's true every week. This is my favorite portion of the show right here. This is debate time.
Yes, sir.
And I have a feeling we're going to have some different opinions today, so let's see how this turns out. Let's just jump into it. SFA football, we got our first win of the season finally this weekend. And
yes, sir. Yes,
against
sir.
Nichols State, and you were there, and I believe you were there as well.
I was, yes,
we were all there then, so we're going to have great opinions.
Yeah.
Let's jump into it. Who wants to start?
I'll get into
You got
it.
it? All right, let's do this.
It's no way that SFA, let me start off first by saying there's no way that SFA should have won 28-24. This game should have been 50-7.
Oh, easily.
This is a game coming in where Nichols State was on a 22-game losing streak, and SFA was down 21-7 at halftime. This was a game that could have easily slipped away from the Jacks, and they could not have get a win today.
Well, there's one number that really sticks out to me about this game and the way it was played, and that is 8 total fumbles. That's for both teams.
Yeah, 8 total.
But 5 of those 8 are from SFA.
Yeah.
What is that?
And that's totally unacceptable. How can you win a game if you have 5 fumbles? Literally every time I looked up, there was a ball on the ground. And, you just can't win a game like that.
Oh, no, and I'm surprised they did. I have to be honest. I was there,
yeah.
And 21-7 at half, and like you said, that's unacceptable against a team that had a 22-game losing streak.
Yeah. And it's so ironic that the game ended in a fumble. Like when Zach scored that last, the game-winning touchdown, and Nichols didn't even get a chance to respond. They fumbled the ball away on a kickoff. So that just shows you what a losing team has. They didn't even get a chance to respond to SFA.
Yeah. But the positives, SFA got one in the win column.
Yeah. And their defense really stepped up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's no way how SFA would have won if their defense didn't play such a great game. So
yeah, shout out to the SFA defense right there. They may not have stopped them completely, but they stopped them enough for us to win.
Yeah, they wasn't playing TCU this week.
Thank goodness.
That helped a little bit.
Yeah.
That helped a little bit.
Speaking of those big schools up there, the Red River rivalry was this weekend, and that was a good game.
That was a good game.
I like that one a lot.
That was an upset for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Running back Dante Freeman had over 100 rushing yards, and that's just against his OU defense, it was really surprising.
Well, you know what? When you're talking about rivalry games, you can expect the unexpected.
That's true.
And that's why we love them.
Yeah, that's why we love them, because, Texas coming in, they have not had a good season.
1-4.
1-4. They have not had a good season. No one was expecting them to come in there and beat OU. But you know what? It was good for the coach to get a win. It was good for the players to get a win, because it's easy to lose a locker room.
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, real easy.
And afterwards, I even saw Coach Charlie Strong was even doing a crowd surfing afterwards, just because that was a great game. They upset OU.
Yeah, so. Texas stormed the field like they had just won like a bowl game or something. It was just so amazing to see all the players just so happy.
And this was a big win for Coach Strong, because there was talk of him being in the hot seat before this game, because a 1-4 record, I see it. I see the hot seat there, but he got out of it, I think.
Yeah, and I actually heard from a couple players that that was the main reason why they wanted to go out there and get a win, because that's their coach.
Yeah.
They're messing up his reputation, so it's no way that they was going to let that opportunity slip from them.
Backing up their leader, I like that. I like that a lot. Now let's move on to baseball now. The as we know, the playoffs are going on, the MLB playoffs are going on, and it's looking good. I mean, it's just good playoffs. I mean, your team may not be in there, whoever they may be.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan of baseball, you're a fan of these playoffs. These are great games going on right now.
Well, my team is in the Rangers. I don't know about you.
My team's in the Astros and
the Rangers.
Rangers, yeah. Okay, so I guess we're happy with it.
Yeah, we're happy with it. But it's just amazing that you play all these games during the season, and it comes down to a few moments that can just send you home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the Rangers. I'm a Houston fan. I like the Rangers a little bit. I'm not really supposed to, I guess. But what's going on with them? I mean, what's up with these Blue Jays coming back?
I mean,
do you think that they were under the impression that it was done?
I don't know if I would say that. The Rangers go to Toronto, and they win both games in Toronto. They come back home. Maybe they felt like, we're home. We already beat them in a way, so
Yeah.
You know, maybe
getting a little too comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, you're going on the road, you feel the vibe from the fans. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, it's us versus the world. You get back home, you're like, I love it here. Why try so hard? I can get comfortable now.
Absolutely. They're pitching. You know, Rangers they have good pitching.
Oh, for sure.
But nobody can pitch very well against the Blue Jays and their power.
Yeah, that is.
They have. I mean, they're number one in the league for home runs as a team, and we know why.
Yep.
They've been launching them this postseason. It's just been great.
I mean, you got Jose Batista, Edwin Encarnacion.
Yeah.
Josh Donaldson. I mean, that team is stacked.
Oh, yeah,
and Troy
absolutely.
Tulowitzki, who they just got from the trade deadline.
Now the Astros, though, another team with just incredible power, and that's. I mean, when you look back at the stats, a good majority of their runs are from home runs.
Oh, for sure.
What happened during that last game, though, Bobby?
Well, I don't want to point fingers here, but it was a little bit of pitching.
A little bit of pitching.
A big fielding error by Carlos Correa. It was a in his hands double play that would have it wouldn't have ended the inning, but it would have probably ended the inning later on, easier end of the inning, and it would have been 6-4 instead of 6-6 tied game.
Yeah.
So he made that error, but he made up for it. He also had 2 home runs in the game, so that's pretty good.
So
I mean, being a Rangers fan, what more do I love just to see your Astros just crumble? You know, it's a beautiful
that was
thing.
cold, and that cuts to the core of me. But just wait until both of our teams make the championship series, and then the Astros send the Rangers
Dude,
home.
I
crying.
cannot wait to see that. If that happens, can you imagine
I
that?
want to see an all-Texas ALCS.
Oh my God.
That would make me very happy.
Oh, yeah, I
It made
mean,
me
who
happy
wouldn't?
too.
Who wouldn't?
And it's gonna be great pitching. You know, Keuchel against against y'all's great starters, and it's just gonna be. It's gonna be a great series if it happens. But if it doesn't, you have to think now who you're gonna take. Obviously, you want the Rangers to win.
Yeah.
But do you think the Blue Jays might do it?
Well, as much as I want the Rangers, to win and clinch the series, you're going back to Toronto.
Exactly.
And I mean, your captain Adrian Beltre is having some back pain.
A little bit of back spasms.
And as you can tell, after Game 2, the Rangers lost the following 2 games afterwards. So maybe that has something to do with it. But also, I mean, like I said, much as I want the Rangers to win, I think the Blue Jays might have this one.
Yeah. It's home field advantage at this point.
Home field advantage, yeah.
That's a little plug right there. And I have to say the same thing about the Astros. The Astros were a great team, great power, good pitching, very young.
Very young.
There was one maybe at the time when I looked at it at first, but now there's like maybe 4 guys on the team that had playoff experience.
Wow.
And that's that's a low percentage.
It's very low.
Yeah.
So they're about to go to Kansas City, and like you said, home field advantage for Kansas City now, and they have experience. I don't want to say it, but I think Kansas City might pull it out. But my heart's always going to be with the Astros, so I'm going to cheer for them.
Yeah, not only being a fan of your team, you can be a fan of the game and be fair about what both teams are capable of and who can move forward from now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we have coming up this Friday is Midnight Madness.
Yeah.
Midnight Madness. You guys, you know about that, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know about Midnight Madness. Actually, I will be there because they are giving away a buttload of.
They are giving a lot of stuff out.
I mean, iPads, $1,000 in
Shirts.
cash, and you get to see your home team and what they're planning on this year. So yeah, it's going to be a beautiful thing this Friday.
Oh, that's good. And when is that? What time? Do you know?
Yeah, that'll be at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. All right.
Yeah.
Midnight. All right. That's going to be a good time.
Yes,
I'm just
sir.
excited. Basketball season is coming.
Oh yeah.
I just can't wait. For
Maybe they can give us a little hope from this football season.
Let's hope so.
We're gonna have a great year, I think.
I think so. I think even better than last year. So.
Really?
I think so.
You think so?
I do.
All right. Now we have. Did you guys? Now we covered it early on, but I want to talk about it a little bit more because it was such a great story. Leonard Fournette. He. I didn't get to talk about it when I read the segment, but the reason he's doing all this is because he feels he needs to.
Yeah.
Because he was involved in Katrina.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he, for 5 days and 5 nights, he was literally on a bridge with almost 1,000 other people, during the flooding. So he wanted to raise some money and send that to South Carolina. So I think that was nice to throw in there at the end.
Yeah, that's a magnificent thing going on. He's a great player. I already have over 2,000 yards of rushing, so it's a real good thing to see him giving back to the community.
Sure. All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SFA_HFA for the latest updates on the Lumberjacks and from around the state. And be sure to nominate a student athlete you know for our weekly Aspire for Greatness Award, where we will highlight the winner on next week's show for excelling beyond the field, whether that be in the community, classroom, or otherwise. Just tag them with the hashtag Aspire for Greatness. We'll be back next week with all of your latest SFA, local, state, and nationwide sports news. I'm Bobby Morrow, and I'll see you next week on Home Field Advantage. That was a great segment. I gotta tell you, the Astros are gonna beat the Rangers.
Oh,